Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Will Kelly with Military Lawn Cuts, where my wife and I have built a $630,000 lawn care business at our first location, and we just started a second location this year, well, end of last year, but we're already at 51 customers. And what we're going to be talking about today are EDDM flyers. So, what does EDDM stand for? So, EDDM, so it stands for Every Door Direct Mail. And if there's one question that I get the most asked about, it's EDDM flyers. And behind me right here, I have our 2024 EDDM flyer. There's a front and a back that I'm going to share with you guys as an example of what a phenomenal EDDM flyer looks like at the end of this video. So make sure to watch all the way to the end so that way you guys can really gain the value of how we built this. Because I just don't want to give you guys the blueprint. I want you guys to learn how we got that so you can tailor it to your business to hopefully make you guys more money down the road. Now, when do you use EDDM flyers? So let's put here when to use. And I want to answer this question because there's a lot of people that ask me, hey, when should I do EDDM and all this stuff? EDDM flyers, just so everybody knows, go through the U.S. Postal Service through the mail, right? So you create this flyer, you put a postage stamp on there, and it goes out through the actual Postal Service mail, so you don't really have to do much except create the flyer and pay the money. This is a type of marketing strategy. I'm going to put red here because it actually costs a lot of money to do EDDM. This is not a type of marketing service that I would recommend to somebody who's just getting started in their first year or two in business, unless you have a lot of money to just kind of like burn through, all right? So how did we get to EDDM? So in the beginning days, we just went door to door, basically doing door hangers, or we literally printed off from a printer, just printer paper, flyers, and we would slip them in the doors and go door to door. Well, eventually, as we scaled that, it got to be a point where it's like, hey, let's weigh our other options. But we didn't just jump right into EDDM. So just make sure that you are fully aware that before you start looking at the EDDM option, it does cost a lot of money. So you don't want to do something foolishly and spend a lot of money if it's not done right. So how do we do it right? We're going to talk about that right now. So are they worth it? We have sent out, oh my goodness, probably 100,000 flyers through the mail over the last 3 years using EDDM. I will tell you that we have had many successes. 80-90% of the time they hit and they're fantastic. As of recently at our new location, we sent out 15,000 flyers and spent about $4,000 to $5,000 doing it with very little return. So I'm going to share that information, why I theorize that happened, and hopefully so you guys don't have to make that same mistake. So the reason why that happened, I feel as though, is because in our new location, which is our Salina location, there's a bunch of new houses that have been built. And so all of them have new sod, and they all have little baby bushes. There's not a ton of grass growing in the flower beds. And so I don't think we had much of a great return to where our main location that does 630,000, they're fully established. They've been around for 15 or 20 years. And our approach to marketing with our services that are on our EDDM flyers can pertain to a lot more people than just the new build communities. All right. Okay. So EDDM flyers, the timing matters. So if there's one thing that I will tell you, this is literally like 75% of it is based on the timing. If you don't time the flyers right, they will not work. You have to do it in the prime time. I'm talking when the phones are ringing off the hook, your website is pulling in all the traffic, your Google ads and Facebook ads are working, your door hangers are working. That is the time right at the peak season when everybody's thinking about lawn care. You do not want to send these things out when it's raining outside. Don't do that. You don't want to send that out when it's a cooler week. You want to send it probably midweek on a week where it's like 75 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and it's that first week of like people starting to be like, oh my goodness, spring is here, right? That's the best time to use these flyers, and that's when you're going to get the most bang for your buck. And what we do is we call it the gold rush. We try to push out the EDDM flyers within a very tight frame of that gold rush. Now, the other thing that's very, very important on these flyers is going to be your offer. Now, at the end of this video, I am going to share with you what our offer was this year and how we gained 125 new customers at our main location by using a marketing tactic similar to the EDDM flyers. What type of offer are you giving them? You want to provide an offer that is so good to the customer, they literally feel silly saying no to it. And when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but how do I even do that? Well, I think the first thing is you have to figure out that they have a need for the service. So when they're calling, you're gathering this information. Okay, do you have weeds in the lawn? Okay, does your lawn need mowing because you have an HOA that's going to give on you? So you're building up the pain point of their of legitimate need. They need the service. Okay, now how do we've established that they need it. How do we build an offer that can build the bridge to them signing up for your services? That is what we're going to talk about at the end, about what that offer looks like for us, all right? But you want to build a very, very good offer. I know, for example, one of my buddies, he was offering the first mow free. There's a lot of customers on the fence that have used companies in the past that get burned, that don't show up, and it's like, well, you know what? You have nothing to lose signing up and doing a first mow free. Now, obviously, there's parameters around that. Not saying that's the offer that you have to give. I'm just using that as an example. We didn't actually use that as an example, but that would be an offer so good. Like if I'm like, hey, I need mowing, and the company's like, well, we'll give you your first one free, and there's no contracts, no obligations, and no cancellation fees. You can cancel at any time. Why would I not sign up and at least try the service to see if there's something that I want to build a long-term relationship and have them mow my lawn on a regular basis? Okay. All right. The next question that I get here is, should I send it out to like one time versus multiple occurrences, right? So what does that mean? Hopefully I spelled that right. What does that mean here? Well, they say that it takes 7, sometimes 11 drips to really reach a customer, all right? What are drips? Drips would be like, they saw your truck driving down the road, that's a drip. They get a door hanger on the front door, that's another drip. They get an e.d.d.m flyer in the mail, that's a third drip. In the Facebook group, somebody recommended military lawn cuts, it's a fourth drip. It's visually seeing the company, their name, their brand multiple times to where when they're ready to buy, you will be in the forefront of their mind. When they think lawn care, they're going to think military lawn cuts or whatever your company is. So the biggest thing another question that I get a lot on these EDDMs, all right, is should I just hit the house multiple times to try to get that drip level or drips higher, or should I just hit them one time? I will tell you what we do. We do the one time, okay? And the reason for that is, again, it goes back to timing. When I'm paying a lot of money for EDDM flyers, I'm talking $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to send out 15 to 20,000 flyers. If I'm putting that type of volume and money inside of an EDDM flyer, you better believe that I want to make sure I'm getting my return. Assuming that I already have a good website with good drip visual there. I already have 4 or 5 trucks out on the route so they can see that. I already see our little signs when we do weed treatments. Like, assuming that they're already seeing all that other stuff, hopefully when I send this EDDM flyer, it will get the return that we need, all right? So we typically only do one time because of that short window of the perfect timing. That's what we talked about here. I haven't attempted the multiple occurrence, but if there is somebody out there that does use EDDM, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so put it in the comments below. The next one here is going to be, this is another big question here. So do I do one service upsell, i.e. you've got your EDDM flyer, you're only pushing mowing, you're only pushing weed control, you're only pushing landscape projects, right? Do you do one service or do you do multiple? I'm talking from experience because we've sent out plenty and plenty of flyers. I personally do not like putting only one service on an EDDM flyer. Why? Because I'm spending a lot of money on the EDDM flyers. I want to get a lot of return. I don't want to condense that customer into a one service only. What I like doing, and I'll show you here at the end, we'll get a close up to show you guys. But up here, we have our, you know what? I'll show you now. Let's do it now. Let me show you guys what the front of our EDDM flyers looks like. So if you look here, we have our mowing, we have our weed control, and we have our landscaping. Because we want there to be options for the customer to actually purchase, call us, and spend money when we're sending out these expensive flyers. Now, again, these flyers aren't super expensive. I think it's like, we just do a lot of volume, right? So I think it's like maybe like 40 cents to create these, and then another maybe like 15 or 20 cents to send them in the mail. I mean, it's not, depending on the volume that you're doing, it can get expensive. But if you're only doing a test batch of like 1,000, 3,000, or 5,000, you know, it's not going to be super, super expensive. I would recommend that, and I'll show you the back of this here in a minute. I would recommend that if you guys are going to test these EDDM flyers, do not just go out there and blast 10, 15, 20,000 flyers. Please don't do that. Make sure the timing's right. Make sure you got a good offer on there. I'll show you the offer here at the end. And make sure that, you know, we do multiple services because it gives them more options to give us a call and sign up. Guys, we're just trying to give them all the information they need that they can look and be like, oh, this is an all-in-one company. I don't need just a weed control company. I don't need just a mowing company. They can do both at the same time and trim my bushes. Like, we're a one-stop shop. You know, let's get it going here. So with that being said, the final thing here, right? Hopefully this helps answer a lot of your guys' questions. The reason why we put our picture on here is because people like doing business with people they know, like, and trust, all right? So we're giving them right up front, this is who we are. You know, we got 5-star Google rating, a little bit about us and stuff like that. Now, on the back, this goes into our offer. How do we create an offer so good that the customers feel silly saying no to? They already called us and they said, hey, Will, I need weed control. I got weeds in the lawn. I need my grass mowed. It's starting to grow. Great. We've established a need. Now, how do we build trust, establishment, and bring value to the customer so they feel confident in our ability to provide them with quality service? It's right here, guys, on the EDDM flyers. So, first off, we have a 200% guarantee, which means if there's a problem, you've had a lawn care company before, right? Take a picture of this if you guys need it, or pause the video. We have a 200% guarantee, which means if you're not happy with our services, literally give us a call. No questions asked. We'll come out. We'll fix the problem free of charge for you. If you're still not happy with that service, and let me back up a little bit. What's sad is a lot of companies out there won't go back and fix the problem for free. They just won't call back, or they just ghost them. There was a customer that called us about a year ago, maybe 2, and said that there was a lawn care company that actually shattered their door in the back of their house. Like, it wasn't their like main door. It was one that was like laying on the side. But I guess a weed eater shot a rock there, completely cracked the entire door. It was a glass door. And what happened is the lawn guy left. They ghosted them. They never heard back, which is sad for the customer. That's not going to happen with our services. That's when the customer is calling around, they want that assurance. How do you give them that assurance? You give them a 200% guarantee. that if you're not happy with it, we'll come back out and fix it. If you're still not happy with the service after we've attempted to come back out, talk to you, make it right, if you're still not happy, we will refund you 100% of that service, that one-time visit. That's the 200% guarantee that makes them feel better about signing up. Now, the other thing is we had an offer this year, right here, the first 100 customers that sign up for our mowing and weed control service, you will get your first weed control treatment completely free. All right? Completely free. What's crazy about that is when you look at TruGreen, okay, not knocking TruGreen, but if you look at TruGreen, they give 50% off their first treatment. However, you have to sign up for the entire 12 months. All right? For us, you get your first treatment completely free, not even 50%. And there's no contracts, no obligations, and no cancellation fees with us. You can cancel at any time. You could theoretically come out, we will do a free retreat or treatment for you, and you could basically cancel. However, I am so confident in our product, in our satisfaction that we could provide a high level quality of service, that I am confident that once you see our ability to do a good quality of work, that we can hopefully, create a long-term relationship from customer to business and hopefully retain them for years. And so this is the type of stuff that you will want to put on your EDDM flyer. It will significantly help the amount of calls, the amount of emails that you will get from it. Guys, hopefully this helped you. I get a lot of questions about EDDM. I wanted to lay it all out there. If it did, hit the like button, guys. It helps me out, please, so much. 88% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, and I don't understand why. Shout out to Landon Smith from Augusta Nation, who was asking these awesome questions. This actually inspired the video to really lay out the foundation of what EDDM is and when you should use it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Will with Military Lawn Vets.